Welcome back. It's day 7 of campaigning for the Punggol East by-election. For a look at what the opposition party is up to, we're joined by our editor, Imelda Sat. Let's start with the Reform Party, Imelda. I understand Mr. Kenneth Jeyaretnam is back on the road after a bout of flu.
Yes, that's right. Mr. Jeyaretnam was this morning. He was meeting residents at a Rumbia LRT station, and this, of course, came a day after he cancelled a feedback session with residents last night because, he was ill and he was down with the flu. He told us so far that he's visited fewer than half of the 127 blocks in Punggol East. Mr. Jeyaretnam described the 9-day campaigning period as inadequate, and he thinks he will be able to cover about half of the remaining blocks. He plans to meet residents to gather feedback tomorrow evening, and added that residents have generally been positive so far.
I think a lot of people like our policies, and they like our pledge to be a full-time MP, to live in the community, and the fact that I am probably the best qualified of the candidates to raise the important national issues in Parliament.
And what about the Singapore Democratic Alliance?
Well, the SDA's Desmond Lim, he released some rally videos online, and it's received some feedback, some online feedback, and some not very flattering as well, especially with regards to Mr. Lim's command of English. Now, reporters asked Mr. Lim about this, and he says he's not disheartened by some of the feedback and some of the criticism. What's more important, he said, is the content and the message that goes out to voters. But he said that he will work to improve on his presentation and also improve on his command of English.
Everyone are not perfect, right? The most important thing is that we are learning, and I'm learning. And there are leaders at the beginning when they come into politics, their English is also not as good as mine. But nevertheless, most importantly, never give up. Thank you. Okay, and also, most importantly, they must sincere and have a heart to serve the people.
And one way to access the online rally is, of course, to scan a barcode on the SDA by-election flyer. Several other clips addressing various issues were uploaded today. Mr. Lim spoke about the healthcare system, suggesting the removal of the cap on MediSave for those aged 65 and above. And on improving work-life balance, the SDA chief said he will personally champion for more affordable childcare.
All right, let's move on to the Workers' Party. They held their second rally this evening, and you were monitoring that too. What were the highlights?
Well, that's right. The Workers' Party members say that there is scope for more opposition voices in Parliament. It's a running theme of their rally so far. They defended the party's performance in Parliament as well, saying that party's MPs have made a difference. For example, they pointed to one of the MPs moving a motion on the childcare sector and questioning another MP, questioning the ethnic integration quota policy for rental flats. Now, speakers added that opposition MPs also work very closely with government agencies to address some of the problems that residents face. And the party's chairman, Sylvia Lim, she raised the recent controversy over the sale of the PAP Town Council's computer and financial system to the PAP own Action Information Management. And as we know, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, he has since asked for a review of the transaction and also the nature of town councils.
This episode illustrates the way Workers' Party works. We will press the government on matters of public interest using all tools available, including the parliamentary process. At the same time, if the government recognizes the problem and takes some action, we will want to allow it the opportunity to put things right.
Look at me.
This also illustrates the value of political competition in furthering the public interest.
And Jen, candidate Li Lian, she also pointed out that the Workers' Party had, in fact, they had a hand in some of the new policies introduced by the government. For example, the move to introduce paid paternity leave. Ms. Lee said that the Workers' Party had called for this in its 2011 general election manifesto. She also touched on other areas that she will work on if elected, for example, improving bus services and asking for more amenities in Punggol East. And Ms. Lee said that she would be the best suited candidate for this by-election and that voters should vote for her because she has the experience in running a town council, because she has helped out in both the Hougang and Aljunied wards.
Friends and residents in Punggol East, you worry about the cost of living like any other Singaporean. Many of you are here tonight. I hear your concerns. You feel the pinch of rising food prices, rising transport fares, rising childcare and education fees. I understand your pain. Every increase makes it that much more difficult to care for yourselves, your children, and your parents. I know what it means. I will listen to you and serve you to the best of my abilities.
All right, Imelda, thanks for that update. And we also have with us May Wong, who has been tracking the People's Action Party. And the Deputy Prime Minister Teo Chee Hean was actually with the PAP candidate this morning on the campaign trail. What did Mr. Teo say about Dr. Koh Poh Koon?
Right. In fact, he was out and about early this morning with Dr. Koh, was greeting parents, was sending their kids off to kindergarten. And speaking to reporters, Deputy Prime Minister Teo actually called on residents to compare what Dr. Koh has to offer against the other candidates. In fact, Mr. Teo actually said that Dr. Koh is a man with a plan, and he is confident that Dr. Koh will be able to execute those plans, such as building more childcare facilities as well as having a job placement centre for the residents. Our colleague S. Ramesh now has the details.
It was an early start to Dr. Koh Poh Koon's campaign on Tuesday, where he met parents and grandparents sending their children to the kindergarten at Rivervale Drive. Dr. Koh has plans to expand the current capacity of childcare centres and set up new ones in convenient locations.
Well, the plan is, I think, a fairly comprehensive one, addressing people from different groups of demographics, from the elderly to the working adults with young children, to childcare issues, as well as the youth and even infrastructure issues that from the past that needs to be completed, as well as going forward, new plans to improve the infrastructure here.
See who can actually do the work and serve them here in Punggol East. He will work hard for the residents here and make Punggol East a better place for them. I also would like to see ourselves continue to work with Poh Koon here in Punggol East as one big Pasir Ris family.
Mr. Teo also gave his assessment of the campaign, which has reached the halfway mark.
I think it's a keenly contested campaign. Poh Koon is taking it very seriously, and so is the party. We will reach out to every voter. We take their vote seriously, and we want to make sure that we can serve them well in the future.
Mr. Teo added that residents have come to see Dr. Koh as someone who is down to earth and will work hard for them.
Now, just a short while ago, Dr. Koh Poh Koon, the PAP candidate, also posted a Facebook comment speaking on something that's really close to his heart. He actually called on the government to consider expanding more medical care for the elderly patients, as well as calling on the government to consider extending MediSave for outpatient investigations. In addition to that, we're going to be talking about the rallies right now. Well, we just have 2 more days for candidates to canvass for votes, and tomorrow, which is Wednesday, the Workers' Party will have its 3rd and final rally to reach out to residents in the evening. And on Thursday, the final day of campaigning, we will see Reform Party as well as the People's Action Party having their respective rallies in the designated rally sites. And in addition to that, we are not going to be seeing any more campaigning on Friday, given the fact that it's cooling off day. Jen?
All right, Madam May, thanks for that on day 7 of the Punggol East by-election. And you can catch the rallies live at channelnewsasia.com/Punggol East.